We got that 5. We're gonna be coming with European people love to adorn themselves in African Egyptian culture. We're gonna be talking about, some of the Masonic burials, and they doing too much, doing way too much. I'm looking at this particular Spinx right here, which is Amenemhat the third, and I know exactly what Spinx it is. And they didn't took the European face and put it on the Spinx, and this is what I'm talking about. But I'm glad y'all in the house. Before we get started, I want y'all to make sure y'all get on over there to Patreon. We is in the house. We is in effect. Y'all already know what it's gonna be now. Y'all already know what it's gonna be. We dropping them jewels. We dropping them jewels. We're gonna wait till some of the family get in here, but that's all right. We're gonna keep it moving. We ain't gonna wait on them. They got to come on in if they're gonna come on in. You feel me? That's right. So again, we talking about, and this even George Washington. Yeah, even George Washington got the two obelisks. I believe he got two obelisks outside his tomb. Yeah, I believe he got some outside his tomb. Yeah, let me drop this in here. Yeah, he got all of them. Benjamin Franklin, all of them got obelisks now. All of them got obelisks, so they all in on the Egyptian addiction. They all on the Egyptian addiction. And so, my uncle hit me to this, and I say, you know what? Let me go check in on this. Let me go check in on this. And I'm saying to myself, these supposed to be good Christians, good Christians. Some of them was Jews. Some of them was Jews. I did one, and they, people didn't, I had to go back and see if I can re-edit that video, man. It was a cemetery over in Europe. It was totally a Jewish cemetery. And I mean, all they had was obelisks. I said, what part of the game is this? What is it that they know that we don't know? You see what I'm saying? What is it that they know that we don't know about our own selves? They adorning themselves with our culture. They adorn us, with our culture. Yet and still, they giving us the Bible. They giving us, the Jewish myths and all of this. They giving us the Jewish myths in the Bible. Yet and still, they bury themselves with Egyptian regalia and the sacred symbols of Egypt. So that let me know that there's something much deeper, that they're not admitting, but they know that is true. You know what I'm saying? That they know that is true, because that's almost sacrilegious for somebody that's Jewish. You see what I'm saying? To bury themselves with Egyptian regalia. That's almost sacrilegious. And so how do they get away with that? I would like to know what's the explanation. Because if you're supposed to be the chose of God, then you're supposed to do that which the Bible say, not some other than. Death is a sacred ceremony. You know what I'm saying? It ain't supposed to be for fads where you could just put up anything. So that just let me know something. And so this guy, it's too, and I seen that they was almost these Spinx right here. I seen a guy. It had a whole nother mausoleum, had the same exact Spinx. So I'm thinking to myself, like, was they, they must have had these on the assembly line or something. They was running these off the assembly line. But that just show you right now, when you look at this now, I want y'all to pay attention. Nah, European people love to, adorn themselves with statues and things of that nature when it looked like them. You see what I'm saying? They not gonna knock the nose up. So when you see these statues and they make them European looking and thing, that lets you know that they adore, the European face, and they would not knock the noses and lips off of them if it looked like that one right there. You understand what I'm saying? That just proved positive. You know what I'm saying? That the ones in Egypt don't look like them. If them statues look like European people, man, they be cleaned up. And let me tell you something, which is evident. You got to know that this is evident. If they really thought that Egypt was a European civilization, it would be above Greece and Rome. No, without a doubt. They would not put Greece or Rome before Egypt if they really thought it was European. You see, no way possible that you would promote Greece or Rome over Egypt. So that's another proof right there that, they know is African. They know it's African. They've never been confused about it. They've never been confused about it. The one guy that went with Napoleon, Count Volney. Yeah, Count Volney, and he like, man, I can't believe it. After he went over there, he went over there with Napoleon, and he said, man, I can't believe the people that we got as slaves created civilization, gave the world astronomy and mathematics. That's exactly what he said out of his mouth. He said, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that's what, the face of the Spinx, they just got upset. They were just upset that the fact that it looked African. So they just shot the nose, shot the beard off of the lip, and that show you, that they did. I seen like one of the Egyptian temples, right? And the pylon is the front gate to the temple. Now the pylon, man, I don't even think they make a ladder tall enough to go up there. They probably had to have, how they had them, on them buildings when they be cleaning and, they had they be having a rope thing. You know what I'm saying? You would need one of them to go up on that pylon. And the fact that they went to the top of that pylon and chiseled, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the sand was up there. I don't know if it was at a time when it flooded. I don't know if it was at a time that it flooded, and so they was on boats, and so they came across the temple and chiseled, man, they chiseled the whole image of the God out the wall. So I didn't see just total desecration, just total desecration imagery in ancient Egypt. So, and then they come back and put their face like here, right here. Now, if you seen this, if all you had to do is Google. All you had to do is just Google Amenemhat III Spinx. That's all you had to do. Amenemhat III Spinx. And that Spinx, but it don't look like that. And you can see they didn't knock the nose off, and because Amenemhat was one of them strong. He had one of them strong African faces. So every statue, if you look Amenemhat the third up, every statue that man had, I don't care, every one of them had been desecrated. But that particular with Spinx is the Spinx of Amenemhat. Okay, Amenemhat the third. And so you need to look that up. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at and these is Freemasons, and and they think they can get away. That's why we don't, the brothers is we brothers by blood. You feel what I'm saying? We brothers by blood. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to go into no European Masonic law. That's fakery. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Real talk. They know what it is. They know we the gods. They know that. Okay, long before any European, we started Masonry. Imhotep started Masonry. The brothers with the aprons, you can see them all through the Nile. We started Masonry, but it's not what they got. You understand? Just because they take the symbols and some of the regalia, and people say, oh, that's nothing like that. It was a brotherhood of sacred knowledge and wisdom, that kept Egypt thriving for over 3,000 years. So this wasn't just when niggas meet up and get drunk and do all, no, it wasn't none of that. It was a brotherhood of sacred, and it existed even before Egypt. When you see Narmer already, if you go on the Narmer's palette, he already had the apron on. He already had the apron on. So the brotherhood was already ancient even before Egypt. So, you talking about coming out of Nubia. The brotherhood was already ancient before Egypt. So we have to understand that. That's why we got to tap back in. We got to quit playing games. We got to tap back in and get the energy and essence of our ancestors and move forward. Too many, it's too many confused theologies and ideologies out here right now. And you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at, people, there's really no comparison. I don't know why people try to compare, anything to Egypt. It really ain't a fair, it ain't even a fair discussion when you really look at it. People don't even know that when you go to major museums in the world, you know how you can tell, this is how they judge whether your institution is a world-class institution. This is how you get the highest ranking. You know how you get the highest ranking? They're going to judge you first and foremost on your ancient Egyptian collection. You see, on your ancient Egyptian collection, that's what they're going to judge you on. Flat out. When you go to the Louvre, when you go to the British Museum, when you go to the Met, the most visited part of the museum is the ancient Egyptian artifacts. So that's how you get judged on whether you a world-class museum, period. And so when you check out the fact that Egypt got more ancient artifacts, hear me when I tell y'all this. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all don't want to believe me. Egypt got more ancient artifacts than the rest of the world combined by overload. By overload. So when you looking for facts, the Dodge Brothers, right there, the Dodge Brother in Detroit. It's in Detroit. It's two, and I didn't know it. My uncle had, Pianki had already done, he had went out there first, he had did videos on it back in the day, and I ended up going out there. And what's crazy, I looked in it, right? And when you look through the glass, he had like stained glass on the back end. He had a Kepara. He had the Kepara and everything on the stained glass. If you get a chance, if y'all ever get up there or whatever, and You want to take that trip? Man, I looked through the front door, and he had a stained glass on the back of it with a Kepara. You see what I'm saying? What they talking about? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but and so that man, whoever they wasn't playing. And the crazy thing, Ram tough. The Ram truck come from the worship of Amen. That's where they got the Ram from Amen. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, it's deeper than what people think. It's some more. I'm gonna get some more. I know Dodge, Woolworth, all them cats. They didn't have, but a lot of them got the obelisk. Even that monument in Illinois for Abraham Lincoln, the obelisk. All of them got the obelisk. All of them got the obelisk. That's what they rock with by choice. All of them got the all-seeing eye. They know what that is too. But they didn't manipulated it to their own understanding. You know what I'm saying? They didn't manipulate their own understanding. So it ain't. I don't want that it's exactly the understanding of our ancestors, because it's not. It's not. You just see the symbols that they didn't manipulate it to their understanding. So when people see it, they tend to say, oh, this is something from Egypt. Yeah, the symbol is from Egypt, but the understanding is not. So we got to be very clear on that. But this guy right here, he spent a couple dollars on whoever he is. Now I seen two of them. One name was I don't think this was Hana. It was two cats that had these type of Spinx in front of their mausoleum. Listen, this mausoleum, how much you think this mausoleum gonna cost? You know what I'm saying? Just imagine how much you think this mausoleum gonna cost. You got a big old mausoleum, exquisitely, it's customized. It ain't like everybody got it's customized. So I'm knowing they paying every bit some hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. What are they talking about? Ray out there getting on them. I ain't gonna even get off in that. Ray out there putting the body work on somebody. I don't know who you putting them body blows on out there, Ray. Ray out there putting body blows on. Take them to school. Take them to school. But I just wanted y'all to see this and tap in. Because these are the same elites that's giving you the Bible. These are the same elites that's knocking on your door giving you a watchtower. These are the same elites that send them two little white boys to ride down your block on bicycles and hand you some paperwork. You see why they behind the scenes studying the pyramids in ancient Egypt. These are not little. These are the guys that control the production of religion. These are the guys that control the production of religion. It's not just who publishing this information. And you can find out that the same people that is publishing that information, handing it to you behind the scenes, they are venerating your ancestors. We got a problem. We got a problem here, man. And I want y'all to see this. We got a serious, serious problem. I appreciate y'all coming out, family. This is very terrible what they're doing to the culture, but I'm liking what because it's still, you can teach and show how they want to be adorned on statues. And if the ones in Egypt looked at that like that one right there, they'll all still have their noses and lips. But for the fact that it don't look like that one right there is the reason why they don't. I appreciate y'all, family. Get over there to Patreon, support the general, and I'll be right back real soon. Black Pop.